Hello, I'm BrigantiaBlackbird of BlackbirdsBrew. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Pagan Housewife. Let's talk about learning new skills. The housewives of yesteryear were extraordinarily skilled, hard workers, and they possessed a degree of commitment to their homes, families, marriages, and themselves that is really rare to see in modern times. And there's a lot to be said in favor of cultivating greater self-reliance just on basic principle, but it's especially important during difficult economic times. In the case of pagan households, oftentimes this extends towards becoming spiritually self-reliant and having the gumption to make sure that we are doing our own holidays and our own magical home practices by ourselves at our own behest. It takes time, a sense of devotion, and of course varying degrees of skills to get all these things done, both mundane and magical. And contrary to the views of those who denigrate the art and science of keeping house, there are always new opportunities for us to expand our knowledge and our skills. Now, thanks to modern technology, housework is no longer as grueling or time-consuming as it would have been for our great-grandmother's generation. Ultimately, it also meant that developing certain skills that rendered a household more self-sufficient have fallen to the wayside, all in the name of efficiency. A few examples would be cooking from scratch, sewing, and gardening. Obviously, there's more, but that's just three to think about. Our grocery stores, they oftentimes have more in the way of convenience foods than raw ingredients because the expectation is no longer that you're going to be cooking from scratch. And then very few people sew out of necessity. Now, more and more are taking it up as a hobby, but how many would actually be able to manage it if it was really up to them to make sure that the household remained clothed? Then gardening. As a skill, that seems to be something that people are coming to later and later in life, when really that would be a very useful thing for us to have a working knowledge of to be able to supplement our own food supplies. The result of all of this has been dependence and ignorance of these very useful skills that would help us get through hard times much more gracefully. And improving our ability to perform tasks of this kind is just one way among many to not only better ourselves personally, but also to make the household more self-reliant. On the spiritual front, the pagan household has special needs. Unlike other religions that have a universally recognized text and, recognized sites of worship that people regularly gather to, for us, we have to figure out for ourselves how we're going to practice, how that impacts the home. And it can be a lot to keep everything organized so we can have our home celebrations for the important holidays, as well as figuring out how to incorporate our beliefs into our daily lives. This is a skill. It does not happen by accident, and it requires planning. And planning ahead in this way is often a learned skill in and of itself. This is all part of becoming more self-reliant. And one day, I do hope the pagan community in particular will be strong enough and populous enough that it will be easier for us to find people to gather with for important occasions and to turn to advice when needed more locally to ourselves. But in the meantime, we should seize this responsibility and make ourselves ready to attend to the spiritual needs of the households. Never forget, oftentimes in ancient pagan societies, the lady of the house was also the de facto priestess of the house. So, something to think about as we are bringing that tradition forward. But let me know what you think, particularly about how you've implemented things in your own life or ideas you might have about how to become more self-sufficient, both magically and mundanely. Let me know about it in the comments section below, or come see us on Gilded. There is a link in the description box. Click on it, takes you right to us. We're very friendly. We'd be happy to have you, so I hope you will pay us a visit very soon. But that will do it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.